What's going on? Phew. So to jump right into things as we're getting more consistent here. Um, so far it's been kind of a busy couple of days. I guess if you consider Tyson Fury and Francis Ngannou are having their press conference on Thursday from the UK. Canelo had an interview with TMZ Sports that was released yesterday. Bomac McIntyre was arrested on Sunday at about 10:45 a.m. trying to leave Manchester in the UK for Atlanta after his fighter Chris Eubank Jr. put on the best fight and performance of his career, defeating Liam Smith in a rematch on Sky Sports box office pay-per-view. Here in the States, it was on ESPN Plus. Shutout, stopped him in the 10th round, Liam Smith. Bomac was arrested, allegedly, for having a loaded gun. I haven't seen any official report or news source that says it was loaded, like on the plane loaded. I just keep seeing, correct me if I'm wrong, I just keep seeing that as just a gun in a checked bag. So I forgot what they call it over in the UK, a hold bag. Basically the bag that you don't take on the plane, not a carry-on. And that it was just thrown in the bag from what I'm gathering from it. His court date is on October the 9th. From my understanding, he might get bail. Some viewers and comments. I've been reading a lot of the comments. You have a lot of UK people who are familiar with the legal system over there. What we're hearing is that he's facing 5 years mandatory. I mean, just so many questions. The number one question everyone is asking is, how did you get the gun over in the UK in the first place? You can't just go in and buy one. Now, the theory that's been circulating around is that he flew in to the UK private, whenever that was, a couple of weeks ago, give or take. And that those processes are much more laxed when you're flying private. However, he was going back commercial on a regular flight, likely first class. The guy's a millionaire, on his way to one of our busiest airport hubs that spreads out all over the country, kind of like Denver Airport. He was on his way from Manchester to Atlanta, likely from Atlanta to Omaha. So he probably flew in private with Chris Eubank Jr., allegedly, rumored, from where they were training. Where were they training? Was he in Omaha? Eubank Jr.? I'm sorry, I was away. And then Eubank Jr. had a private jet, the whole team to the fight week. And then Bomac, a lot of fighters do that. They go home on their own. I mean, trainers. They'll have a big-ass backpack. I've seen Robert Garcia a few times in Philly in different events. Like, he'll just be like, I'm just going to fly home. I was just in such and such, you know what I'm saying? But it's a very weird situation, and you got a lot of conspiracy theories floating around. Obviously, I'll joke around a little bit, but this is a serious situation with a man's life. Now, another question is, if it is true that he flew over private with this gun, allegedly, and he was like, damn, I got to get this joint back. How am I going to get it back? So he said, I'm going to try the airport, especially with such a volatile crowd against Chris Eubank Jr. Rumor is, can anyone find me? I was looking for the link. Can anyone find me the link to the interview Bomac did? And he said that he was close to being robbed in the UK when he was training Amir Khan. So many believe that that's the reason why he said, I'm going to bring some protection this time. I'm going to be with Chris Eubank Jr. He's a very polarizing figure over in the UK. I don't want nobody to try no shit, so I'm going to blast their ass. Wild, crazy as fuck. So the question is, Is Bomac that fucking stupid? People just can't wrap their head around like, yo, like did you forget it? And then it said it's an unlicensed firearm. Yeah, I'll pull up the story. So it's like you brought a dirty gun, my dude, to another country and then tried to bring it back. So if you're asking me personally, I don't believe was some nefarious plan by guys like, nefarious looking ass Frank Warren. He looks nefarious, doesn't he? Dodgy as fuck. But what you hear about Frank Warren is, it's a very powerful man, but I don't believe he had nothing to do. People saying, read this shit right here. Read this shit right. Lord have mercy. Read this shit right here. Let me stop cussing. Add it all up. Eddie Hearn and Al Heyman have been working closely of late. I mean, okay, all right. Trying to maybe put AJ Wilder together. But let me read this. Let me leave out the context. Add it all up. Eddie Hearn and Al Heyman have been working closely of late. Hearn wants AJ Wilder fight, so he did Al Heyman a favor by setting up Helenius with Joshua, which squares the favor Helenius did by taking a dive against Wilder's first round slap. Also, Al Heyman wants to unsettle Terence Crawford for Spence rematch by removing his trainer, and Hearn wants to do the same by removing Eubank's trainer for Conor Egington. Bomac is eccentric, but he's not an idiot. Is also known about his gun history, so he would be easy to frame. Nobody would question it. Money is the root of all evil. And you got somebody else, the fire stage. I said the same thing. It doesn't add up to me. I think someone set him up. Don't think it's a setup? Don't think it's Shalom? Look at this. Look at this. Look at this shit right here. I don't know, dog. My man, the Dim, he's the most credible source on Australian boxing and boxing as a whole. Look at this. This is what people saying. This is not me saying it. People saying, you know. It's what people saying. Whoa. Well, as I said, I don't believe, but it's just too many things would have to happen. Like why? Like, they would have to get his bag. Like this, it sounds, I got to be honest, I feel dumber talking about it. I'm not saying anything's not possible, but it's hard for me to believe that somebody was like, yo, Bomac over here, get him. How do we get him? He's got to go to the airport. Get his bag away from him. Put a gun in his bag. Let's get him by illegal firearm. Yeah. Now, another thing we've been hearing is that, and I've been doing some research on it. He might not see any jail time, but he may face a ban for eternity from the UK. But it's since I'm not from the UK, I've been going by what I've been researching, and it's looking like a mandatory 5 years. And because he's an American, and because he's a millionaire, you have to assume, I think he's a millionaire. The country right now, the legal system, just like it is here in the States as well, is going through a rebellion of where, how come rich people keep getting off? So will they try to make an example of Bomac? It's like, no, you knew better. You came over here. I don't care about your celebrity status. You came to our country. How did you get it in here? So you had to smuggle it in. It may not have been the first time you've done it. And then the court like to punish you for being stupid too. They'd be like, and then you tried to take it back. It sounds crazy. I can't, and I'm telling you, I don't believe it was a conspiracy. I think that, he flew in. My personal theory, he flew in. Or the other question is, was it somebody else's gun from over in the UK who would have a gun? Why? I'm trying to figure this shit out because I remember yesterday, I'm painting my doors. My front door got these fucking big ass fucking French. It's a French door. The windows, and I'm taping and taping, and I'm just thinking to myself like, I remember this is how I know like it fucked me up because I was like, what the fuck was Bomac thinking? In my own personal life, I met Bomac like twice. I was at a Crawford versus Felix Diaz, but anyway, I'm thinking like, you ever think of some shit? Like, what was he thinking? Like when boxers, because I'm a degenerate low-down boxing fan. I may not put out as much coverage as I used to in the past, but listen, I'm a low-down degenerate. I will watch anything, anywhere, anytime. So sometimes these boxers, they I get intrusive thoughts. You know, I'm fucking like, and I stopped. I put the tape down and I put my hand on my hip. I was like, what the? And I started nodding my head. I was like, what the fuck was Bomac thinking? What was he thinking? what be going on with these people, bro? Like, and then if you notice the trend of when there's slow boxing news, that some shit goes down. Like there's a slow boxing week where there's no mainstream boxing this weekend. Some shit always hits the fan. The last time, it was Alicia Baumgartner. There was no major fight that week. She got popped for the juice. She been trying to tweet her way through it, but it ain't been working. Tank Davis got booked randomly because he was supposed to be doing his house arrest at Calvin Ford House, but he's in some hotel suite somewhere in a condo. Judge booked him. Every time it's a slow week in boxing, some major shit goes. The major shit never goes down unless it's fight week, somebody slapping somebody, or I will take it to the grave. Jermell Charlo cannot come back and fight nobody unless it's Caleb Plant. You don't let no man just smack you around like that and then say, I need a tune-up. I've been on for 800 something fucking days. No, I'm getting untethered. So listen, as I said, all these conspiracy theories, people thinking, and you know what they say. I don't want to get canceled, but Kanye been saying some shit, and there's certain people, certain demographics you don't fuck with. I wouldn't have did that to them. I wouldn't have did this. Bomac, So no, I don't believe it was Ben Shalom, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't believe it was this nefarious looking fellow right here. Bond villain looking, master plan looking. I don't believe it was Dave Allen. And I thought he's supposed to be hurt. Then his eardrum, what is he chatting about? I ain't get to this yet. I don't believe it was, look at your Dennis Ugas. That's how he got that alopecia. Doing this shit right here. That's how he got it. But it probably was him. I would believe it was him. This is Ray. He's a porn degenerate. This is Ray. He's a porn degenerate. By the way, you can follow me on Twitter at TstreeT Controversy. So anyway, we do got to talk about Canelo. But yeah, Bomac, for those who don't know, he got booked on Sunday morning UK time about 10:45 a.m. Trying to board an airplane from Manchester in the UK to Atlanta, likely from Atlanta to Omaha back home. He checked in the bag, the bag that actually you got to pick from baggage claim. He checked in the bag and they found a weapon in there, a gun. It's not confirmed yet if it was a loaded gun. I haven't been able to find a story. All I see is a gun. He had a court date yesterday morning in which the judge, basically, he was remanded into custody. So they hold him until October the 9th. October the 9th, he might get bail. Just last week on the 31st, he did an interview stating news that Errol Spence has activated his rematch clause. Errol Spence has something like 30 days or something like that. Bomac is coming off of his fighter, Chris Eubank Jr., having the best win and look the best of his career, and then he gets booked. Now, my theory, as I said at the beginning, was that he flew in private, like with Team Eubank on the private jet VIP. Check-in is much more laxed. By the way, shit's going to hit the fan with them, too, when they find out how did he get, if they match it and say, yo, he came over here with this. And my theory is that he flew in private, and then he after everything was over, he was flying on his way back home on a regular flight, and they caught him. Like he took another gun, allegedly, to another country, and then tried to come back with it on a regular flight. So, as you can see, the title of the video is, I've been seeing some comments, this is the first time, and I'm going to say months, that I actually went around watching other people's videos. And now what's been going on is, can Terence Crawford beat Errol Spence in a rematch without Bomac? Can he beat Jermell Charlo, even if Jermell Charlo loses to Canelo? Can he beat Canelo Alvarez now at 168 without a Bomac? Bomac is facing 5 years mandatory. And then no telling what other shit he can get himself into, or how many years he can add on if the gun was loaded, or if they try to hit him with smuggling and all that type of shit and all them other charges that go under everything. You know, because you'll have the main charge and then hit you with all these old bullshit drinks. So, ugly situation. Now, I do feel that he is a special fighter, meaning Terence Crawford. But at the end of the day, that's a high hurdle to climb, especially losing your main trainer. And, you know, I don't know what their relationship is, if it's more father-son. It comes across between father-son bond and brother, like brother-to-brother bond. That's how it comes across to me. And remember, we've all been watching these guys now. We've been watching Terence Crawford since fucking HBO. I've been watching him since Top Rank TV. But it's just a wrong place, wrong time. And more importantly, how Bomac could have potentially ruined his life. And it's taboo to talk about it, but at the same time, the channel is called TstreeT Controversy. Maybe this is one of those situations where he can look back at life and say, I accomplished, two-time undisputed champion. I, built a great fighter. I changed Chris Eubank Jr.'s career around. And more importantly, I saved my life because I was eating too much and I lost weight. That's the real shit. If you think about it, that's the type of shit I think about. Like, well, shit, maybe it's good for him. It's fucked up that it happened. It's some dumbass dickhead shit if he did it. But at the same time, he ain't look healthy. And I ain't want to see on the news one day, that Bomac McIntyre died and everybody going to be like, well, yeah, So, no matter how religious you are, as they say, God works in mysterious ways. Who knows? Destiny, fate, who knows? But he ain't been looking good. I haven't been able to confirm anything about the Errol Spence, Derrick James rumors. But something has to happen because the rematch is supposed to happen in December contractually. And PBC, if you notice on Showtime, they scrambling with dates, especially pay-per-view dates. And so, Steven Espinoza said it multiple times. They don't want two pay-per-views in the same billing cycle. They strategically plan a way around that because my cable bill is outrageous. $487 a month. Then last month, it was I think it was $424. Pay-per-view's been whooping me, bro. Whooping me. And let's not talk about UFC. There's too many of them. And then the zone is $27 a month. $26.41 if you don't want to sign up for a contract. And I will never, ever, ever give them a yearly subscription. No way. No way. And I admit, I got my first 2 years of the zone for free. That's because I was doing beta testing and, you know, like going to the events and all that. But after they did what they did to us during COVID, I said, you know what? I don't like your business practices. Y'all on some bullshit. You know? But let's move on. Canelo Alvarez, let's talk about this. Did an interview with TMZ Sports yesterday. Well, it was released yesterday. He probably did it over the weekend. Me personally, I believe that the Canelo and Crawford fight will happen because the way they're talking, and you can only imagine that guys behind the scenes like the Espinosas and the attorneys and the Al Heymans are like, hey, you guys might have something here. It's both at the end of your careers. Crawford's building up his name, like huge mega paydays for both of them to cash out. And this is the end of their careers. Remember, Terence Crawford turns 36 the 28th of this month. Canelo's body is breaking down. We'll have a better understanding on how long he has left once he steps into the ring against Jermell Charlo. And by the way, I am giving Jermell Charlo a chance to beat Canelo. Crazy, but let's listen to this interview here. Let's see what he has to say about Crawford. I remember both of them was shooting down the fight because I remember I covered the Terence Crawford media workout the week before he flew to the week that he got to Vegas. And he was saying, like, yeah, I'll fight Canelo at 160, but I will never go up to 168. Now he's like, fuck it, I'll go to 168. And Crawford has shown us throughout his career that if he says he's going to do something, he's going to do it. So I know that if he wants to, if he says the Canelo fight's going to happen, he's got a certain time. He's already planning. They're already talking about it.
One of the bigger fights that you've had.
Oh, by the way, take your time out. Like the video, subscribe, follow me on Twitter right here at TstreeT Controversy. So yeah, I got fuck all to do until November the 1st. So I'm going to be pumping out content. As you can see, I'm back to getting out content every day, and we're going to be ramping it up. I'm actually getting my bathroom remodeled, so that's why you're not really seeing me. It's a lot of shit going on in the background, but I did get Starfield, and on my I've been having a yearning to play video games, you know, to get back to my childhood and shit. So on my other channel here, I'll show you real quick. On my other channel, TstreeT Uncut, I'll be streaming on this channel. This channel is also monetized and ready to go. As you can see, I covered the Dave Allen fight and Ngannou. This shit flopped. I mean, Cyril Gane. This joint flopped. But brand new channel. I covered Spence Crawford primarily on this channel. As you can see, a lot of that content here. Did very good on Fight Night on my live streams, but basically I'm going to be using this for live streams and a content dump channel. Whatever I want to do on this channel is going to be on this channel, and also lower end fights are going to be on this channel. So on the main channel, on what you're watching now, there'll be the Canelos, there'll be the Wilders, there'll be the even Michaela Mayers, the Katie Taylors, the Terence Crawfords, the Jermell Charlos. On this channel would be the smaller level events, you know, that I'm covering. Motherfuckers like Campbell Hatton. I'm gonna put his. No, actually, he'll be on the main channel because every fight you never know when he'll get knocked out. So I want to be there when it happens, and on the main channel. But I'm going to be streaming Starfield on this channel later on today. You know, I've never really been into space games, but we'll see how it works out. But anyway, back to Canelo. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.
Just because of how talented a fighter Jermell is as well?
Yes, this fight is like in a making for 5-6 years. I don't know how many years. A long time ago, this fight talking about. But this is the perfect moment. You know, Jermell Charlo is a great fighter. He's a talent fighter, and he's undisputed too in his weight class. So it's gonna be a good fight. So I'm happy to be in this kind of fights, in the big fights.
Yeah, you know, you obviously have gone up to 168. How about for Jermell? What challenges is he gonna face as he goes up and he fights as a bigger man?
Look, I'm be in that position a lot of times. So when you are a good fighter, it's not that much challenge. You know, when you are a good fighter and a strong fighter like he is, it's not that much difference. But look, the difference is the opponent you have in front. That's the difference. No, but I think when the fighter like Jermell is big because he's big. He's not a small fighter. But I think he's gonna handle good.
What's the motivation? You've accomplished so much, Canelo. You're the biggest star in the sport. I mean, you've done incredible things. What keeps motivating you to be great and to take these challenging fights? What is the motivation?
First of all, because I love boxing. I
Yeah.
love what I do. I love this sport. This is my life. And then being in this kind of fights, in a big fights, this is my motivation. No, keep doing a great fights, big fights, and keep uh, and making history. That's what I'm motivated.
Yeah.
And I love boxing. So I'm very happy always when I need to go in a training camp. I'm just happy. I'm able to do my best out there.
Yeah, and the fans love how active you are. Obviously, you're always fighting. You're never afraid to take a fight. It's awesome. Are you tired of people asking you about Terence yet?
No, look, there's I always say I respect Terence Crawford. He's a very talented
Yeah.
fighter, but he just win uh, one big fight. If you see his record, he just beat one good fighter like Errol Spence is.
Yes.
But other than that, I don't think he's beating other great fighter like Spence. He did a really good job with the Spence. He did like almost look very easy but I knew Terence Crawford is a great fighter. But you never know in boxing. We'll see. We'll see in the future. Right now, I'm 100% focused on Jermell, but I will see in the future. Why not? If it makes sense, why not?
What's
Let's just go ahead and get it out the way. Off the top of my head, Ken Crawford beat Canelo. The biggest factor is the amount of weight Crawford would have to come into the ring at. Let's say if he comes in light, like 164. That's going to affect your movement. I saw something with Michaela Mayer who fought this weekend. And then without a tune-up at the weight, jumping straight up. The concerns about movement, and he's going to need his movement fighting against Canelo because Canelo is a naturally, funny enough, Canelo's about 5'7". Don't believe that 5'9" bullshit. Crawford would be taller slightly, but Canelo is the bigger and stronger fighter. So what happens when Canelo touches Bud Crawford? That's the concern. Punch resistance is a thing, And Crawford admitted that he walks around about like in the late 160s. But they have weight classes for a reason. Now, let's see first, like what happens with Charlo, because who knows? Charlo, after Canelo, if he loses, he may not be back for a while. Usually we see that. It's rare. Like it's rare for a top tier PBC fighter to lose and then come directly back. We might not ever get. I'm more confident that we could see Crawford Charlo than Crawford Canelo than Crawford Charlo. I agree that he should fight Canelo like he fought Posto. He did a lot of moving. He showed Posto a lot of respect. By the way, that's the only fighter he hasn't stopped since then. But I'm just not sure yet. Now, with the way that they're both talking, I believe the fight's going to happen. I wouldn't be surprised if the fight happens this time next year. I would not be surprised. They're not going to wait to pull the trigger on this. But also, as the title of this video says, Crawford could be without Bomac. He could be without his head trainer. So that has to be factored in. He could be without his head trainer for 3 fights. He could be without his head trainer for, he'll likely, well, we don't know what's going to happen. Bomac could get bail, could be kicked out of the country on October the 9th, you know, come back to the States, you know, or I don't know how it works. If he can just come back and just fucking don't go to court. I don't know. I'm ignorant. I don't know how it works. You know, if he can get bailed out in the UK or whatever the guys call it over there, come home and just say, you know what, I'm never going back to the UK. Fuck that court date. The hell with all that shit. So he could have Bomac for the Spence rematch. But everything's up in the air until October the 9th. With that being said, I'm going to get out of here. On my other channel, TstreeT Uncut, you can, I'm going to be streaming for about a couple of hours after I go finish painting these doors. And we'll be talking boxing during my gaming streams. I got a shitload of video games that I've been just having sitting around, just collecting dust. So when I said, you know what, I'm going to play this. I don't have nothing to do. Enjoy your time. Play some video games, relax, but also make sure you do your boxing shit too. So with that being said, remember, it's a slow week. So whatever content I can find, I'm going to be covering. Also, Thursday morning, we are going to be here streaming the, excuse me, hold up. Let me pull this email. It's not Thursday morning. It's going to be Thursday. It's like 5 p.m. British time for the Tyson Fury Ngannou press conference. Hold on. It says London. Thursday. What time is it? 5 p.m. British time. So what's that, like noon for us? Something like that in the States? Well, we're going to be here streaming that. I expect, I'm not a fan of this fight because of what Tyson Fury could have been doing. I can't disrespect the fact that it's like, all right, he wanted to get the payday. It's an easy payday, super big, free payday. But still, yeah, I'm sick as hell. I got bad allergies. Sorry about that if I'm sorry.